Hi, I'm Anna from Soma Tierra, and for years and years and years, I tried to lose weight. And when I finally figured out, I was amazed at all the things that I had learned and actually the simple steps that I had to take to get there. One of the things that I did was I changed out a lot of the foods that I was eating and stuck in some really whole, real foods. And the amazing thing is that they actually taste better. I brought out two of my favorites. They're both made by this amazing company called Bragg's or Bragg's, never sure. If not all of what this company does is pretty impressive and I really like. Major thing that I experience is that when I switched to these things as opposed to what I was doing, my cravings went down. And for me, that was the biggest thing that I had to figure out was how do I stop craving? Because once I started craving, I binged. I ate a ton of food and I just blew all the work that I had done leading up to it. So after a while, I kind of figured out what I had to do was lessen the cravings, was lowering the times that I was binging, was getting satisfied. So number one was getting satisfied. So let's talk about these two things. Here is apple cider vinegar. And what you always want to look for is with the mother. So that makes for, and I'm going to turn this bottle around, that makes for a cloudy vinegar. See, it's not clear. And most people think, oh, that means that it's old or that it's bad. But it actually means that it's got all the fermented good things still in here. And that's what you want. It wasn't heat treated. So what Bragg's does is it naturally ferments the food. They let the years age the product. So instead of heat treating, instead of adding chemicals to the product, they let it age over time. And then what that creates is all the naturally occurring beasties to replenish the gut. And healing the gut really helps lessen the cravings, lessen the appetite, and really helps you not only get healthy, but helps you lose weight. I rarely use other vinegars. So in just about every recipe I do, I can use apple cider vinegar and never once have I ever ruined a recipe. Everything always tastes yummy. So every dressing I make is with this apple cider vinegar and it's really delicious. It's kind of potent. It's got a sweet tang to it and it's really super yummy. So for any dressings, sometimes baking, any kind of desserts, all that kind of stuff, I use this Bragg's apple cider vinegar. I love it. I love it. I don't use white rice vinegar. I don't use clear vinegars. And I rarely, if ever, use a balsamic vinegar. This goes for just about everything. So this is apple cider vinegar with the mother. Now let's talk about soy sauce. Amino acids, Bragg's amino acids, is actually what soy sauce is. So when American companies decided that they wanted to create a soy sauce here, what they did was heat treat, add gluten to liquids, add chemicals, and they came up with a soy sauce that was super salty and had that kind of smoky flavor. The problem is it was a much cheaper product, which was good on one hand, but the other hand, it had a lot of drawbacks on the health side. And for me, when I went to a Chinese restaurant and I ate the soy sauce there, I just about always wanted something sweet after. So there's a typical joke that talks about eating Chinese food and that half an hour later you always want to eat something. Most of the time that is because the food is so overly salted, overly MSG that it makes you crave. It brings on cravings after. So that does nobody any good. So sure, it's cheaper, it's easier to get, but in the end, you kind of pay for it. So I use Bragg's amino acids, but you can also use something called tamari, which is the naturally occurring soy sauce that we have here in this country. I like Bragg's just because I find it in more places, and it's also a little bit less expensive. But the amazing thing is that, yet again, just like the vinegar, it's a naturally occurring food. So here, without being heat treated, I get all the good beasties to replenish my gut. So I do get that flavor that I'm looking for, that smoky, yummy tinge of salt flavor, without all the negatives that you mostly get from soy sauce. So eating this, it's less metallic tasting. It's got a richer, more deep flavor. And after I eat with this on the food, I don't crave after. There's more of a satisfaction, which is what you're looking for. And what I love about this is that I could just steam up a vegetable. My favorite is broccoli, and sprinkle a little bit of this on it, and it's really yummy and kind of enough, instead of going to a Chinese restaurant where I get all the MSG, all the gluten, all the oil, the fats, the awful cravings that I have after. So again, this is Bragg's amino acids. I use this instead of soy sauce. I make an amazing teriyaki sauce just using about a 1/4 cup of this to 3/4 cups maple syrup, and make this delicious, yummy, salty, sweet, savory, deliciously yummy soy sauce. Marinate vegetables and sometimes fish in that. Bragg's amino acids and Bragg's apple cider vinegar. Enjoy.